Well, this is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them. So you already know the deal on basically these two prototype kittens. I don't know why I did that with my phone, but that was an accident. Basically, both of these are considered by their name that was given, Beta Jazz. Basically, what is Beta Jazz is the original production of one of the released Zhu Zhu kittens, Jazz. The difference between the original release and the beta release, it's quite obvious actually, but there is some different details that maybe you should know about. Now the first thing, obviously it's the most obvious part, is the blue collar button. They both have a blue collar button, and that's just quite odd because Jazz is female, and supposedly I think Jazz would have been a male actually. Even though despite having a pink type of color for feminism, it's sepia is weird. You should know this by now. But the other thing that was different that I recently discovered on Christmas was its birthmark. We've never seen this birthmark before until now. It is basically a clothing hanger birthmark. Now this birthmark was never used for any other Zhu Zhu pet until these ones actually during production. And honestly, I kind of prefer the saxophone more than the clothing hanger, because I really don't get the point on a clothing hanger birthmark in any way possible. Of course, since these are prototypes, basically they both never received any tush tags. Even when I can feel it there, I don't feel any signs of tush tag paper in any way possible, nor any stitching reminiscence of basically any tush tags ever placed in any history during production. And now the sounds of them, basically the first one that I received for Christmas, it has like production Zhu Zhu kitten sounds, which is basically cream puff sounds, but like different additions to the voice box order, making it somewhat unique for a Zhu Zhu kitten. I don't know which Zhu Zhu kitten though, but I'm thinking these could be Mr. Cozy sounds, but that's just a guess. But here are these sounds. Okay, I'm not gonna stick for this. And then for the second one that I recently got well, there you go. It's Hauser sounds. Which is really weird though, because this is basically kind of like Riley's Twiddles with cream puff sounds. It's basically a Zhu Zhu kitten with dog noises. Now, I don't know if these are basically like a separate type of Zhu Zhu kitten that's unsimilar to Jazz, but supposedly this was used for, I guess, the New York Toy Fair like picture where they showed all the Zhu Zhu puppies and Zhu Zhu kittens that were going to be mentioned. Two of them were released, one of them was out from each of the series. And basically the Jazz over there is basically the Jazz I supposedly own, either this one or this one. I honestly can't tell because it has like a specific angling that almost makes it look familiar. And I don't know if basically from sun fade from this one, it caused any like type of fur damage, but I think it must have been like that actually, because Jazz has more of a full-on pink type of design and stuff, and have a bit of more of a flocky type of fur texture compared to these ones. I wouldn't really know though, because I don't own an official Zhu Zhu kitten. I just own two prototypes, which is kind of like impossible really. Well, at the same time it's quite possible, but it's just very complicated to do. But here I am explaining about them. They could have possibly had a different name. I'm not gonna confirm that just yet unless I have more information about it. But my brother decided to give them nicknames. Basically the first one that I got for Christmas, he decided to name it Disco. And then this one that I recently got last week, he decided to name it Hip Hop. Which kind of is funny because Jazz, Disco, Hip Hop, music genres. Next up, we were basically gonna get a third Beta Jazz, and we're gonna name that one Rhythm. Or DNB, which is drums and bass, but y'all don't care about drums and bass.
Yeah, and if we keep getting a bunch of them, we're definitely never naming one K-pop. Also, you can tell the differences between both of them.
Yeah, you can tell from like how not really that matted the fur is for this Beta Jazz, and also the ears, yeah, and also how floofy this one is.
And also the back of them.
And I guess, yeah, the back. There's different types of shading patterns for each Zhu Zhu pet, which almost works the same actually for like Zhu Zhu the Hedgehog, Moon Mist. But yeah, this is quite a bit of a table turning event. There's now 2 known beta jazzes ever produced. I'm not sure if there's a 3rd one or if there's more than that, but this still does not mean they're released because, first of all, let's just say they were never released in any way possible. These are just prototypes of basically an existing released Suzy Kitten, like just development. This isn't official stuff, because if it were official, it'd receive butt tags and ear tags and most likely unique sounds. Well, I'm guessing it might be these ones. It still remains a mystery, and I gotta look into it more closely. But yeah, now I gotta figure out how to get another beta jazz, or maybe another I just hope I get an official Suzy Kitten someday, but I'm happy to have these 2. Even though they are unreleased, they're still nice to own. And I have a lot of unreleased stuff, like you could possibly already tell. This is an unreleased version of Wrinkles, and then Clicker is just up there. Just vibing, yeah. There's so many things that I've discovered throughout the time, and this is one of the many things I discovered. Way to go. I give myself a pat on the back. But yeah, that's all for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and more to discover soon in the future. Yay!